What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my Draftkings MMA picks for UFC Des Moines. We have Corey Sandhagen going against Davison Figueiredo. And yeah, we have a very fun fight night card coming up this Saturday. We got 12 fights on it. Hoping all the fights stay on the card because we really can't afford to lose any on a 12-fight card here. But yeah, as long as all these fights happen this Saturday, I'm looking forward to it and looking forward to breaking it down. Before we get into it, if you guys could like the video, subscribe to the channel. It is always much appreciated. If you guys have not already, check out Prize Picks. If you guys go to Prize Picks and use code DFSBTN, you'll get $50 instantly when you place your first $5 lineup. Whether it wins or loses, you'll get $50 instantly into your Prize Picks account. It helps me out. Helps you guys out, free $50. Go check it out. Use that promo code DFSBTN. With all that out of the way, I say we get into it. We get into the fight. It doesn't go to decision lines. We have a lot of fights that are projected to go the distance. Not a lot of wide fight doesn't go to decision lines at all coming up this Saturday. So we'll see how it all plays out. But the most likely fight to end inside the distance, according to the odds, is Bo Nickal versus De Ridder here. And yeah, it's kind of a weird fight where we got Bo Nickal 9,100, De Ridder 7,100. So with Bo Nickal, we're used to paying what, 95, 96, 9,700 for the guy. It's not too often that we're going to get him at 9,100. So for that reason, and just because I do like him in this matchup, I do like the Nickal side here at 9,100. The only hesitancy I have with playing Nickal this week is I feel like this could be, or I hope it's not, but I feel like it could be like the Paul Craig fight a little bit, where Bo Nickal uses his wrestling to keep the fight standing and then outstrike De Ridder. And if this fight does go 15 minutes, he probably doesn't score the best. But I do feel like a knockout is live here for Bo Nickal. So for that reason, I do have some interest on his side. As far as De Ridder, De Ridder's a guy that if he is able to get the fight to where he wants it, which is on the mat, he is a very high-level BJJ black belt. So I think a couple sprinkles of De Ridder definitely makes some sense. But I think it's kind of a tough matchup for him. Next, we got Mason Jones going against Jeremy Stephens. I'm kind of surprised the fight doesn't go as only minus 135 here, just with these two and how they kind of match up. With Mason Jones, this is a guy that has a pretty solid finish rate of 67%. We got Jeremy Stephens. We know how hard this guy hits. This guy has a 66% knockout rate. I think that on the feet, either guy's live to land a big shot, but where I think Mason Jones has the biggest advantage here is on the ground. This guy's a judo black belt, BJJ black belt, and we've seen Jeremy Stephens just look very bad on the ground in this later stage of his career. Hasn't fought in an MMA fight in about 3 years. He's now 38 years old. So yeah, I like Jones here, but Jeremy Stephens, the last thing they say that goes is power, right? So although this guy's 38 years old, he still hits like a truck. Jeremy Stephens could be an interesting dart throw this week. Next, we got Bakaya versus Loader, minus 130 for the fight. Doesn't go to decision. Interesting fight to target here. I mean, Bakaya's a guy that I'm not 100% bought in on, and it's a steep price tag for him, 9,300. But this guy has a lot of power. He has good wrestling, good takedown defense, which is going to be important here. Really good get-up game, which is going to be important here. Ryan Loader, it kind of just feels like a tough matchup for him. I really struggle to see Ryan Loader taking down and holding down Bakayev, and if this fight is taking place on the feet, you've got to absolutely favor Bakayev in that type of matchup. So I'm picking Bakayev, just not sure how high I'm on him at, especially at 9,300 this week. And then we got Thomas Peterson going against Dontel Mays, minus 105 for the fight. Doesn't go to decision. This is a fight where I think weigh-ins are going to be very important for me. If Dontel Mays shows up and looks like he did prior to his last fight against what's his face, Walker, against Walter Walker, he looked career worst shape. It looked like he didn't even train for the fight, and it kind of showed in the cage, right? He got finished in the first round by submission. If Mays shows up looking like that, like he doesn't care anymore, I'm probably going to be very, very, very heavy on Thomas Peterson. If Mays shows up in career best shape, he's taking this fight serious, maybe I'll back off a little bit. But, altogether, I do think it's a solid match for Peterson. I think Peterson gets the fight down to the ground, and anytime Mays is taken down, anytime Mays is off his back, it just hasn't looked great. So I'm more so on the Peterson side. I just can't get around to playing Dontel Mays outside of maybe a couple sprinkles for like a puncher's chance, Hail Mary type thing. But I like Peterson here. Getting into the core plays, we talked about them a little bit already, but yeah, Mason Jones for me, 9,500. There's a lot of solid plays up top this week. We got Mason Jones, who is the most expensive. We got Sandhagen, who we'll talk about. Bakayev, we talked about a little bit. Robertson, Nickel, Peters. I mean, we got a lot of great plays up top, but I think my favorite is probably Mason Jones. I think he has a clear path to victory here, and that path to victory is using that BJJ black belt, getting the fight down to the ground. And like I said, Jeremy Stephens, anytime we've seen him on the mat, latter half of his career here, it just looked very bad. It's looked very brutal. Hasn't fought an MMA fight since 2022. Mason Jones should be able to get takedowns, get on top, and once he does, he should make it look easy. So, yeah, Mason Jones, 9,500. My only worry is he goes out there and wants to put on a show and stand and bang with Stephens. If he does that, I still favor him, but he has such a massive path to victory here and a path that does score very well. Next, we got Surrey City, 8,400. I like City here, 8,400. I think for me, this comes down to durability and also the takedown defense of Smotherman. I think that both the durability and takedown defense of Smotherman leaves a lot to be desired. I've seen Smotherman hurt in a lot of fights. He's been knocked down in both of his losses, and I kind of feel like this fight's going to be a war where both guys are going to come forward, land big shots, and I kind of trust City a lot more in that war. And on top of that, if there were to be some grappling in this matchup, it wouldn't shock me if City exploited the non-existent takedown defense of Smotherman. We've seen that City has a pretty sneaky, opportunistic submission game as well. So I think City has some solid avenues here, some avenues for a potential finish as well. And at 8,400, I do like him this week. Next, we got Miesha Tate, 8,300. I like Tate this week as well. On paper, this is a very good matchup for her. She's going against Yana Santos, who has a sub 50% takedown defense, and we've seen that anytime Santos ends up on bottom, she's typically either staying there or getting finished. And Miesha Tate, if she can get the fight down to the mat, that's where she's best. Really good control, solid ground and pound, and a very good submission game as well. She's finished her last 3 or 4 wins in the UFC, and yeah, I think pretty self-explanatory here. She exploits the 42% takedown defense of Santos, gets on top, and either rides out 3 rounds, or I think a finish is very much on the table as well. So give me Tate here at 8,300. And then Thomas Peterson, 8,900. Yeah, Thomas Peterson's been very lackluster thus far in the UFC. I don't think he's shown his full potential. But you look at who he's fighting against, Jamal Pogues, very good takedown defense. Even like Muhammad Usman. Like Muhammad Usman has solid takedown defense, and Gaziv, you're not taking Gaziv down. So yeah, I feel like he's going against somebody in Dontel Mays who can't really stuff a takedown, and once he is taken down, if he is to get taken down, he's just very bad off his back. So I feel like this is a great matchup for Peterson to start to go out there and show that he's a lot better than people think. So I like Peterson here, and I think he's very live to get takedowns and potentially finish Dontel Mays up on top. Getting into the GPP plays here, Corey Sandhagen, I think, is a great play. 9,400. Corey Sandhagen's a very high-volume striker. Not sure if he'll, go for takedown. I mean, if he wins takedowns, probably gets them, but I do think this fight's primarily going to stay standing, and when it is standing, we're going to see Corey Sandhagen probably just have a masterclass. I mean, Sandhagen's averaging over 5 significant strikes per minute. He's going to probably outland Figgy here 2-1, 3-1, if not more. I mean, Figgy's just so low volume, and I like this matchup for Sandhagen. Sandhagen's going to be 4 years younger. Figgy's, one of my favorite fighters, but he's at the wrong weight class. Bantamweight is not his best weight class, right? And the whole relying on moments at this weight class, I'm just not sure it's going to work, and I'm not sure it's going to work against somebody as durable as Sandhagen. So, I mean, Figgy's landing only 2.91 significant strikes per minute. Unless he's hurting Sandhagen or, taking him down, I just really struggle to see where Figueiredo wins this fight. So I like Sandhagen. I think he's pretty safe this week, and I think he's pretty safe to go out there and put up a solid score. Bo Nickel, 9,100. We talked about Bo Nickel a little bit. And yeah, I have some interest in Nickel. Like I said, my concern is that it's the Paul Craig fight all over again, because that is on the table. My concern is Bo Nickel fights very smart, which is good. It's good for him to go out there, fight smart with a good game plan, and win the fight ultimately. But when we're playing him on DraftKings, we want him to go out there and score well. And to do that, he's probably going to knock out De Ridder, which is on the table. Like, De Ridder's been knocked down at both of his losses. I think it's a very tough matchup for De Ridder. I don't see De Ridder taking down and holding down Bo Nickel. I think Nickel's going to dictate where this fight takes place. If Bo Nickel wants to get takedowns, he will get them. But I do think this fight stays standing, and on the feet, I think we're kind of relying on that knockout. So I'll have some Bo Nickel. There are some fighters on this card I do like more. I like Sandhagen a lot more. I like Mason Jones a lot more. Even like Peterson, I do like more because he has that wrestling upside. And then I probably even like Robertson a little bit more. But yeah, if Bo Nickel goes out there and KOs DeRitter, he's going to score very well. My concern, though, is it's either a late knockout or ultimately decision. So I would tread a little bit lightly on Bo Nickel this week. Next, we got Gaston Bolaños, 8,500. I think this fight is a great fight to target here. I think these guys are going to stand and bang until one man falls. And what I like about this fight is I question both guys and their durability, right? Like we see Gaston Bolaños finished in 3 of his 4 losses, and the chin's questionable. We saw him hurt in the Ramias fight. He was wobbling all over the place in the McGee fight. He's been submitted in 2 of his losses. The ground game is in serious question still for me. But on the flip side, you got Kwang Lee, who I question his chin. I mean, Kwang Lee got knocked out in his last fight by Long Zhao. It really wasn't the best look at all. I feel like somebody could get knocked out here. And Bolaños at 8,500. I think he's a better striker, more volume, a lot of power. And Kwang Lee, he's hittable, and I don't think he has the best durability. So I think a Bolaños knockout could be in play here, but I think somebody potentially gets finished in this fight, and it's a pretty solid one to target at these price tags. And then Jillian Robertson, 9,200. Yeah, Robertson is a solid play this week for me as well. It's a good matchup. She's going against Marina Rodriguez, who's now 38, and at 38 years old, she still hasn't figured out how to stuff a takedown. She still hasn't figured out how to get back up once taken down. And Rodriguez is one of those fighters where, she's very defensively sound on the mat, which, those fighters are fighters that are often going to, stay there once they get taken down. They're so worried about not getting their guard passed. They're so worried about not getting subbed that they'll be so defensively sound. They're not going to make mistakes, and you can't win fights like that. Like we've seen Rodriguez stuck on her back more times than not, and I kind of think that's happening here. I think Robertson gets takedowns. She's been starting to implement a lot of grounded pound as well, and we know she has that submission game. I think Robertson at 9,200 makes a lot of sense this week. And then live dogs, Daniel Rodriguez 8,000. I think Rodriguez is decent. Like, there's not a ton of live dogs that I love on this card, but Rodriguez, he's definitely one of them. He's landing over 7.5 significant strikes per minute. I question the durability of Ponzinibbio. I question the durability of both guys, really, but especially Ponzi. Like, Ponzi's wobbling all across the cage. He's getting hurt in every single fight recently. So, yeah, I think D-Rod at 8,000, I like him. I like the volume, and maybe he can finish Ponzi. I kind of feel like this fight goes to decision, but I kind of feel like this fight is one of those that goes to decision, but it's just like one of those wars. Like maybe D-Rod can get a couple knockdowns here and there, something like that. So I think D-Rod's in play, definitely a live dog in a fight that can go either way. Next we got Kwang Lee, 7,700. We talked about this fight and how I think it's a pretty important fight. With Kwang Lee, you have the grappling upside. You have power. You have power on the feet. Bolaños, we've seen him hurt. We've seen him dropped. And we've seen him submitted multiple times. So Kwang Lee is a very popular dog this week, and I think he'll be a very popular dog on DraftKings. And yeah, there are some avenues for Kwang Lee here. Although I don't think he's the most skilled fighter by any means, he does have some paths at 7,700. Next we got Daniel Marcos, 7,500. I'm more so I'm picking Jackson here, and I think Jackson gets it done. I think Jackson has a lot more power. He's much bigger reach, and I think Jackson has the wrestling advantage. But Marcos is a good fighter. He's 17-0. He's a very good striker, and I think even at 7,500, I don't think he has like the highest ceiling in the world. But even if he does win, could be some decent volume mixed in there. Marcos potential live dog this week, and then Juliana Miller, 7,400. I think Miller's very live here. I mean, this is a fight that, honestly, this fight can go either way. I think Petrovic probably wins, just being the better striker, being the fighter that probably gets more top control. But, Miller's dangerous. She's aggressive. She's going to be throwing up submissions. And if she is able to get on top of Petrovic, like the fight could be potentially over. So I think Miller, 7,400 is very, very live this week. And I'll definitely be taking some shots on her. Pump plays, Davis and Figueiredo. Yeah, I really don't like this matchup for Figgy. This is like more of like a cash game standpoint for me. 6,800, some takedown upside potentially, 25 minutes to work with. I think in cash, like a stack in the main is probably what I'm going to go with this week. But in terms of like a GPP upside for Davison, I don't know. I just really don't like his chances. So yeah, cash games, love Davison. GPPs, not so much. And then fades, not a ton of fades sticking out. I think, especially with 12 fights to work with, not a ton sticking out. But, Ponzinibbio, 8,200, just don't have a ton of interest. I don't think he's going out there and wrestling D-Rod. I think D-Rod's the more durable of the two. I think D-Rod has the better volume of the two. So, yeah, Ponzi's somebody that I'm not too high on this week there. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys could, like on your way out, subscribe to the channel. If you guys want more content from me, check out dfsbythenumbers.com. That's where you'll find all my other content, my DraftKings tools, articles, etc., etc. Check it out there on dfsbythenumbers.com. And best of luck for UFC Des Moines. Should be a fun card, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.